Hey guys, that's right. Dee here is back with a brand new episode of Table Cheese with Anton Sixxx and myself. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow. And guess what? Enjoy the show. All right, this is it. Episode number 32. We got it right this time. I'm one of your hosts of Table Cheese. I'm Dee of FTL Nerd Talk.
And I'm Anton Sixxx, the Cheesy Controller Podcast.
Man, we got a fun one today. We're going to talk about Amiibo cards, Pokemon cards. We got the Final Fantasy demo we're going to be talking about. And what was the last thing we were talking about? Oh, that's right. Starfield, the thing that everyone's been talking about for I don't know how long. The game has been in development for, 10 years now? And it's finally coming to fruition, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's the next big Bethesda game studio game. And honestly, as somebody who's been super down on it since they announced it and since, playing Skyrim and playing Fallout 4 and just both of those not really having the juice to them, for those not to have been, revolutionary experiences in gaming for me, honestly, overall, my perception on Bethesda games in general is negative.
Right.
I have not enjoyed more of them than I have enjoyed, and the ones that I have enjoyed, I haven't enjoyed on the level of, your run-of-the-mill Square Enix game or Capcom game or...
I gotta tell you, I'm glad to hear you say that because I felt the same way, but I know, the Bethesda fans are diehards, saying that kind of stuff. They would attack you for saying stuff. So I usually keep that to myself most days. But you know what? It's nice to hear that from a fellow gamer. Bethesda's been kind of dropping the ball for a while.
Well, I mean,
so it's nice to hear you say that.
I know some super hardcore Fallout fans, Elder Scrolls fans. I know people who really get into those things, and I'm like, all right, if it's this big in gaming, and the Vault Boy is an icon. The Skyrim logo is an icon. All of these, their imagery is just transcendent. And
it makes you stop in your tracks, yeah.
Yeah. So it's something as a gamer, it's something you hear, because I didn't have an Xbox 360 around the time of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and kind of those being the seemingly more revolutionary steps in that kind of Western RPG framework. Those games weren't on my radar at the time, but then it's okay, Skyrim. I've heard about Oblivion, this is a new one that they're doing. Skyrim almost bricked my PS3. And even when I've gone back on more powerful hardware, I think I downloaded the native PS5 version and tried it out, and it was still just nope, this ain't it.
Yeesh. Well, before we get into all that, I want to do something a little bit different for this episode. Hopefully we can do this in the future. I want to talk about the top games that came out this week, or the top games that are still green across the board all week, and that is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, and surprisingly, F1 23 are the top games that are hot green according to Metacritic. There is one game really topping the charts right now that I haven't even heard of until now. It's a PC game called Layers of Fear. Have you heard of this game?
Yes, I have. It's the newest game from Bloober Team. They did Blair Witch. They did The Medium. They are actually doing the next one of the Silent Hill projects.
Ooh.
So they had
is that the next one or one after that?
I'd have to look. I think they're doing a weird experimental ARG thing that's not really a video game per se.
Yeah,
but
it's more of an experience. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think after that we're getting the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is what Bloober's working on, and then later on there's Silent Hill F, but it's the F of f-stop on a camera. So
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But Bloober Team, the thing is, in the modern horror landscape, they're kind of the laughingstock. They really aren't. Their games aren't as well regarded as the Resident Evil remakes, as Dead Space, as even some of the newer properties, Callisto Protocol, and just kind of these more modern things that are going on in the gaming space, in the horror space, because I don't particularly follow the horror scene like that, but I know that Chris on Cheesy Controller, like anything survival horror, creepy, like he is super down for. And
go to for him, right on.
When I've talked to him about the Bloober Team games specifically, he's never really it's never been a positive vibe because he was really big on the medium. He was really like interested in some of these new horror things from like not the already established well-known names, but Bloober Team's been around since the early PS4 days, and so they kind of have a resume of Layers of Fear. Just their first game was like Layer of Fear.
So this is a sequel?
Yeah, or like a remake, retelling, because there was like, I think Layers of Fear and Layers of Fear 2, and then there's Layers of Fears, which is this, which seems to be kind of like maybe redoing the game with...
No, you're right. I see it. It's Layers of Fear Legacy. There's a Layers of Fear VR.
Yeah, so this is like kind of it's been a franchise that's been around for
since 2016. Yeah. All right. Didn't know that.
So
it's available on Steam right now.
Yeah, right. As most things are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right about that too. And also, I'd like to give appreciation to yourself. I forgot to talk about this. It is June 15th, as the day of us recording this, and the game Goodbye Volcano High came out today, also on PC, PS4, and PS5.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, they haven't really advertised that as being part of PlayStation Plus Extra. So, but I know that was a game that a lot of people were really hyped for. It was part of like the initial PS5 reveal showcase. So it kind of had like that big like PlayStation's treating this not as a marquee title, but as something they want associated with their brand. So
just to put it out there for people to see it. I get you.
So
have you played it?
No, I haven't played it yet. I've been entirely too busy for like Goodbye Volcano High is because I haven't even seen any reviews about it, and I'm honestly not sure if it got delayed. I might have, because when I'm building the games to check out list, like I'm checking a bunch of different sources, and Goodbye Volcano High wasn't on all of them, so I'm just gonna see.
It is delayed. It's delayed for August 29th, 2023. So yeah, I'm looking at Steam right now. It's delayed till August 29th.
Right. So
yeah, there you go. It was supposed to come out today, but it's not coming out today. So there you go, everybody. You may see this. You may see this pop up again in Anton's August games of the month.
I don't know. August is Armored Core month, so we'll see. It may still potentially have kind of that appeal, like as we get closer and as more people get hands-on with it,
right? And
like to kind of see if it really has any kind of staying power, but we'll see.
Let's get into it.
Semi-interesting, but I haven't even beat We Are OFK, and it seems like one of those like narrative-heavy kind of like.
That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
Right, and if I was really going to play one right now, it'd be We Are OFK.
We're gonna talk about. We gotta talk about that one different episode. I'm really interested in that. But we got a big, fun show. Let's start out with what you want to talk about the most. We already like breezed over some of the things we're gonna be talking about, but Final Fantasy 16. I know you played this demo. I know you played this demo.
100%.
So tell me, initial reactions to this demo. What do you think?
Initial reactions, I played the first 2 hours of the game and without stopping, without pausing, like my audio coming out of my soundbar wasn't in a PSN party. I was 100% fully immersed, main monitor on, secondary monitor just straight up off. Just,
right on.
Oh, man. It's really sad that this game is coming out the same year as Zelda, because like it's not going to get the recognition it deserves. But what I've played already, they gave me 2 hours. Plus, there's still a like challenge portion of the demo that I haven't done yet, and I'm kind of saving a little bit.
Like, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, because I opened up the demo today, and I just like let the like main menu music play and just kind of like let the particle effects.
Very Kingdom Hearts 2. I like it. Very Kingdom Hearts 2. I dig that. Right on. Very Halo.
And I was like, maybe I'll play the combat challenge of the demo, but I know that the game's just so close.
Mm-hmm.
And I like my progress from the story portion of the demo. It's the first 2 hours of the game. It just straight up starts like opening credits, like opening scenes. It's very cutscene heavy. I mean, it's Final Fantasy.
It's Final Fantasy, yeah. So that's what they're made. It's all about. Yeah.
The first 2 hours, I'd probably say at least a solid hour of that is just like story, cutscene, exposition, and I mean,
respect.
Not complaining whatsoever, because they've said we're inspired by Game of Thrones. It is so Game of Thrones. There's already a character. I need her head on a spike yesterday.
That bad, huh?
It's like if I could kill anybody off in the entire chronology of, she's like more evil than Sephiroth.
Jeez.
Already in the first 2 hours, it's like, wow, you are just, there are no redeeming qualities whatsoever. So if we want to talk about, I think her name's Annabelle.
Okay.
But we were talking a few episodes back, we talked about female antagonists. Yeah. That is a female antagonist that deserves all the hate, all of the ridicule, all of the slander, all of it. She deserves all the smoke, and I'd like to be the one to give Annabella.
Annabella Rosefield?
Yep.
Oh, she looks like she has no emotion at all inside of her, like zero emotion whatsoever. Look at that deadpan face she has. Oh my goodness! If you guys look at a picture of her right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She looks.
That's probably her looking at her oldest son. That's how she. Yeah, it's
full disappointment. Why did I have you? Why did I have you? Yep. Oh my goodness, yes. That's the look on her face for sure. Wow. All right. Well, there you go. New women antagonists. There we go.
It's just now that I'm paying attention to it because we've had that conversation. Like I'm starting to notice it more in media, and it's like
it needs to happen though. We need to see more women antagonists, definitely. That aren't like objectified the entire. Just make them evil. Just make them evil. I'm here for it.
Right.
The scenery is gorgeous in this.
Oh man,
I saw the trailer a few times. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
The opening of this game like pulls no punches as far as spectacle, as far as scale, as far as brutality, as far as just like the like realistic, horrifying things that come along with war. In a dude, this is probably, I'd say, it's probably the most mature Final Fantasy game that I've played personally so far. Just with like their beheading, slitting of throats, like.
Pause for a second. Do they show the beheadings? Or do you just see the head go Caligulonk as it get cut off? Do you have to see like the head get cut off?
Well, you see the swing of the blade and then the head on the ground. Like I don't. It's not going full Mortal Kombat. Like.
Right. Had to ask.
Yeah, I mean Mortal Kombat 1 coming soon. Like if you want that, it's there. Trust me.
But the game is rated M for mature, so like it does push those boundaries. I'm pretty sure it's rated M for gore.
I'm definitely glad that they are using the M rating. It seems like this is a like way more grounded, mature story than they've done, and like 14 kind of goes some of these places, but this is one of the things I've been excited about with 16 since they announced it. Was this is the Final Fantasy 14 for the most part, or 14 team for the most part, but it's getting combat from Devil May Cry. They announced at the launch party event that Platinum Games and the Kingdom Hearts team both worked on the combat, so that's just
that makes it better for sure.
Yeah,
it just ups the ante of greatness for it for sure.
Yeah, it's like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Nier, and Kingdom Hearts all getting in a pot and being stirred up. Like that sounds like an excellent recipe for combat. So, and I mean, the combat is great. Like the story, of
That's
course.
what I was about to ask you. Yeah, here you say all this, like you being like a big Final Fantasy fan yourself. Like if even if you can't compare it, like does it feel like any other Final Fantasy game? Does it feel like it's trying to do its own thing with this new game with the mechanics
It feels like
of the combat?
it's way more of a character action game than we've ever gotten. Like I typically prefer action RPGs. Like I'll take my turn based, I'll take my like strategy RPGs, but as like action RPGs, like especially Nier Automata is one of my favorite games of all time, and that is,
as you mentioned,
right, a third-person character action JRPG, and that is what this is. And I feel like we don't get too many pure, like third. Like I wish there were a better term for like the feel. I don't want to. Because, I mean, it's the Devil May Cry 5 combat director, so I don't want to say, like, Devil May Cry combat, because I feel like there's more RPG to it, there's more nuance to it, and there's more, like, there are definitely stance changes. You can use different icons, there are different abilities in different, like, there are layers upon layers to this combat in a way that it's for action, like, action game players in a way that even like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I would say is probably the closest to it. Like if you somehow were only playing Final Fantasy games, like I mean, I'd love to meet that gamer that like won't play something if it doesn't have Final Fantasy on the box.
I don't want to meet that guy. That guy can stay where they're at. You're good, buddy. We don't need to hang out. Take it easy.
Oh no, you can come hang out with me. We can have some serious conversations. We could go through my Steam library. I'm down.
And he would talk with you about it until you saw the error of your ways, for sure. So like you said you played the first 2 hours, you've been playing Tears of the Kingdom, you played the Street Fighter demo. Like those are what the most didn't play the Street Fighter demo.
I've played I played multiple betas. I didn't actually play the demo, but I've played the full game. So I've been in the Battle Hub in like live servers, and it's not sticking with me the way I felt like it would have if it were in a less crowded time.
You said that about Tears of the Kingdom, and you end up buying it the first day. But you see all these games that like people, the main three I just called out, that are big contenders for Game of the Year for a lot of folks. And the way you talked earlier about this, like it won't get as much traction because Tears of the Kingdom did come out before this one. Do you think that's gonna like stifle the spot for Game of the Year when it comes to Final Fantasy, or is it still like in running, or will it still be in running?
Yeah, it'll definitely in Keely's like nominations. It'll definitely be in like the 5 or 6 games that are like nominated for Game of the Year.
Right.
Final Fantasy 16 is a lock.
Yeah.
But the thing is Tears of the Kingdom. Like Breath of the Wild was one of the most but then again, it's weird because last year we got God of War Ragnarok, which like God of War 2018 was one of those revolutionary industry shifting games, and this was the sequel that did everything bigger and better. And
Elden Ring still won. Yeah, right. Elden Ring still got the gold, so you never know.
Right, but I feel like this is more in line with Elden Ring. Like when people were talking about Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild was in the conversation a lot as far as like, we haven't had an open world experience like this, like this inventive since Breath of the Wild. So it'll be interesting. Like Tears of the Kingdom is an amazing 10 out of 10 game. I will not be upset in the slightest if it wins Game of the Year. I'm still playing it. Like I'm 30 plus hours.
You were playing before we did the show, yeah.
I'm 30 plus hours in, and I got a little conversation piece entirely revolving around Zelda, and so for me,
I can't wait to hear a one-man podcast. You talking just about Zelda. I can't wait for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Game of the Year. It'll really be, and I'm sure at some point I'll try and find some other people who are playing it, because that is one thing. Breath of the Wild felt like everybody was playing it, like IRL, but the internet wasn't as like loud about it. But now it feels like Tears of the Kingdom is just like shouting from the rooftops online, but IRL, like, I'm the only person on the Cheesy Controller podcast with the game.
I have seen that too. Many people I've talked to face to face who actually do gaming are not talking about Tears of the Kingdom, but on the internet, it is everywhere.
Right.
So like, it must be like catering to a certain audience.
It's having like, it's very viral. Like, it's very gifable. It's very TikTokable. But
yeah.
And we didn't have TikTok when Breath of the Wild came out. So
true.
And then
also true.
The Switch just wasn't. I don't even think the Switch let you. It
wasn't switching. Yeah.
Well, I don't think the Switch let you record video clips on it until after like the zeitgeist of Breath of the Wild. I mean, I could look back, and I have a lot of screenshots on my Switch from Breath of the Wild, but I don't.
It wasn't as predominant as it was now. Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't. You're right.
So it like 2023 is going to be an interesting year because there are those people who are playing and loving and living Diablo. There are those people who are playing and loving and living Street Fighter. There are the people who are playing and loving and living Zelda. There are the people who are who, like me, who will be playing, loving, and living Final Fantasy 16. Because even if they just give me 100 hours of just what I got out of those 2 hours over and over again,
go, man.
I'm good. But I know I know it's going to be deeper. I know it's going to get more epic. I know it's going to like there's hunting quests.
Yeah.
In it with like that dude, man, this combat.
I've heard a few people feel it has like the Monster Hunter feel. It has the Devil May Cry feel. It has like older Final Fantasy feels inside this game. So I heard like a lot of people say like it has like a lot of different elements inside of it. But like it also looks like its own game. So like I get what you're talking about where the God of War and Elden Ring comparison from last year, like and how this feels like an Elden Ring kind of like situation where like it is a game that you know about, but it's a lot different than what you thought it was going to be. So, like, I get what you're saying with that.
Well, that's one of the things. There's been a lot of discourse online in, like, the Final Fantasy circles because we talked about it last time of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being talked about at Summer Game Fest. And a lot of people being really down on 16. Like, they're like...
There's some black people.
Yeah, but that's not the argument that people are making online.
Oh, really?
It. Yeah, that is not, the argument people are making online is it's not going to be good. Like, this isn't Final Fantasy. Like,
really?
Yes, totally. 100% there. But my thing is, no two Final Fantasies have been alike ever.
No,
Final
not
Fantasy
ever.
1 and 2 are drastically different games, and 2 and 3 are drastic. Like, you just go down this line.
7 and 8.
Yeah, you go down this list of these 16 games, and sure, there are commonalities, but no two have the same battle system. No two have the same class system. No two have the same story. No, like...
Even 10 and 10-2 are different games. So, yeah.
But, I mean, even in the direct continuations... where it's like, okay, we're going to meander in this world we've built. So, like, 13, the trilogy of 13 games, 10 and 10-2, and then 7 and all the spin-off games and media around 7. Like, all of that stuff around 7 is nothing like 6, which is nothing like 8, which is, like, you can go any which direction with this, like, and... It's like, I don't know, this is like the dream team, the story, the direction, like the music, everything they're doing, in my opinion with this is right. But there's just so many people so down on this game. And I'm like, nah, I pre-ordered this months ago. I am in. I am ready to go.
Yeah, they just want to be negative. Let them be negative.
Yeah.
The hop off Final Fantasy 16 dick just for a little bit. Let's talk about the game that so many people will not stop talking about, whether they are excited for or just annoyed with the fact that things don't come out. Well, let's get on to Starfield and go on a journey of that. This has been like a 45-minute presentation at the Xbox.
Yep.
Summerfest.
It was interesting. During Xbox's like showcase, like after it was a good chunk into it, they showed a trailer for Starfield. I'm like, all right, they're transitioning over to the Starfield part because they advertised it. They're like, it's going to be Xbox Summer Game Showcase and the Starfield Developer Direct. And the trailer was just long enough that I'm like, oh, okay, they're transitioning over to Starfield. That was a solid showcase. But, yeah, Starfield,
You watched some of the 45-minute extension
Yeah.
of it. I only watched the 3-minute trailer. And,
Yeah, which was the one that was just like thrown into the middle of the showcase. And I mean, it kind of fit with the other games that they were showing. Like the other, like late this year,
decent.
early next year. Yeah.
It felt like I didn't get the hype.
Decent trailer. Like it wasn't earth shattering. Like I need to watch this on like a movie theater screen, but it was a solid trailer. But the game, honestly, as somebody who's been down on it because of just how my experience with Bethesda games, I'm pleasantly surprised. I put it on my Steam wish list. I'm probably not gonna buy it at full price.
But I would probably play it for sure. Like I would definitely want to get my hands on it eventually, but like maybe not right away when it comes out. But it looks like a game that I wanna get involved in. Like I feel like I feel like if I played this game, I already have low expectations of it. But I feel like if I play it, I'm gonna be very pleasantly surprised if I play this game. That's how I feel about this.
I was pleasantly surprised by what they showed. Like as somebody who went into the showcase, as like this is not a game that I remotely care about at all.
Right.
Like it's coming out the same fall as Spider-Man 2. Like I'm good.
I hear you, man.
Like I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. Like if Bethesda games are your thing, like do your thing. But like for me, Microsoft buying Bethesda, I was like, maybe the next Doom game I'm gonna miss.
Yeah.
But like you go down like I'm not a big Wolfenstein guy. I'm not a big like just Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, like all these things that they have going on and they talk about as like Bethesda stuff. It's just like, okay, cool.
We talked about that before the show. Bethesda's is interesting, but it never really like caught my attention as a gamer. Like it's there. I hear people talking about it, but never really it's like, okay, I gotta get my hands on this Bethesda game. Like I never really said that to myself. But watching this game, watching the gameplay, it looks crisp. It looks smooth.
Yeah, it looks
the
non-buggy
really
and broken.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, that was one of the things. I'm like, this is going to look like Fallout 4, where everything felt really static and really, like, rigid. And I mean, the game's running at 30 frames per second on console, so it's going to be...
The lighting's good?
Yeah, like, they have actual, like, legitimate high-tech bars that they're clearing with this game, so... I think technically it's going to, and I need to look at Digital Foundry's coverage because I know they've broken down like every single frame of like, so this is like, they're doing checkerboard rendering for this. And so like all of that stuff. But honestly, as somebody who had zero hope or faith or interest in this game, like I came away like, hey, yeah. Looks pretty cool.
That's a lot of lack of interest you got there. That's a lot of lack of interest you got there.
Yeah,
for me though, it's mostly
it was like the two big Xbox games this year. Well, it turned into three because they shadow dropped one, but it was Redfall, Starfield, and Hi-Fi Rush. Are like the
one
three.
One of those already been a big bust. So,
right. Yeah. Redfall was a huge bust, and like that was the thing. Redfall and Starfield were kind of side by side. They're both Bethesda, like they're both like core Xbox first party games. They're both like getting delayed. They're both in the same time frame. They're kind of like they're showing up in the same places as far as showcases and stuff. They're kind of running neck and neck.
And they're kind of hypeable too. Like there's a lot of people getting like on a hype train about both of these games. And Starfield has more of a hype because like it took so long for it to come out, and it
has a lot of bigger names behind it. Like Todd Howard is prominently featured in that Starfield Direct.
Yeah.
Like, it has a lot more kind of cachet to it than Redfall. Like, Redfall was a new IP. It's never coming back. Like...
No.
But...
I will say, though, like, it's all that stuff, but it's also the fact that, like, Microsoft needs a win. Like, they need a win.
Yeah, and I didn't think Starfield was going to be it, but now, after watching that, I think Starfield might be, like... It's not going to be the dub that puts them on top of the world, but it's going to be a dub that, like, boosts morale in the people buying Xboxes.
I think it'll be a game changer for Bethesda at least. And like we all know like Bethesda and Microsoft are like they're going to be having a lot of babies together. But I think like it's going to change how we see Bethesda when it comes to this game. And like the space travel, if you guys like space travel games, this is definitely like the game to be
Oh
looking
yeah.
into for sure.
You talked
Wow.
about No Man's Sky. There's a
Yeah.
lot of No Man's Sky in it.
Ooh.
What was
There's a game called Dyson Sphere. It's pretty much where, if you guys know, Dyson Sphere, where you create like a container over the sun and use the energy from the sun like to energize a planet. It has like elements like that where you can go to a planet, put shipments on there, like and like just start like taking the resources from that planet. It looks like it got some of that element inside this game also. For me, as like a space nerd, I'm all for stuff like that. So it tickles a lot of my fancies when it comes to that. But again, I'm not gonna get it like the first day. I'll definitely would wait to pick this game up.
So I know that Bethesda's used this term about it, but one of the things I like about this style, and I know there's some contention about this term, but I'm not gonna go bother looking up the alternative that people are using to describe it. But they call it NASA punk, and for me, that's just like the entire aesthetic of the game, and like some of the things that lead to the believability of like the tech in the game, because they showed like ship customization as far as like interior and exterior, and just like if you need a cargo hull and like all these different.
It makes me think of the sci-fi show that got picked up on Amazon by Expanse. It reminds me of the Expanse a lot. If you guys ever seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like it looks like the Expanse, but a little bit more polish than that. So like it still has that Fallout kind of vibe to it, like with the grit to like the filters, but it definitely has like a that NASA punk you're talking about with a little bit of the Expanse, and the shooting mechanics look like dead on good. And I don't even like shooting games, but like it looks like I can get myself immersed in this whole like shooting.
That's one of the things I'd have to get my hands on. And I mean, this game's kind of a platform. Like this game is really coming out with just infinite potential for mods and people making their own games within this game. And like,
yes, I love that. I'm sorry. Like ever since Little Big Planet, that's been like my thing. Like seeing gamers do stuff like that. It's always a good time.
Yeah, and I mean,
get their hands on something.
Bethesda, like that's the thing. Fallout and Elder Scrolls, their entire communities just around specific mods for those games, and this is giving you an entire galaxy of like, there are going to be planets that are just out there for resources, and some dude is going to be like, I really like this planet, I'm going to build out this whole thing, this whole story, this quest line, all of this. I'm going to like invent an alien race that inhabits this planet, and like that creativity, and like for those people, yes, I'm sure like even more of the stuff that what they showed me, like the stuff that they showed that appealed to me, I'm sure they showed way more things that just appealed to like that audience way more. So,
and I'm here for it, absolutely. Like it just seems like a real good time, man. Like I really like. I can't say like too much good stuff because I feel like kind of on the fence, like of it being great or not. But I will be watching this in action and see what it looks like. If I may like go to one of these gaming lounges and see if I can just play it for a couple of hours, just to get the feel for it, because I'm watching the gameplay right now on IGN. And,
well,
dude,
you know, I'm gonna have to push that. Xbox Game Pass will have it available day one on cloud, where you can stream it to your MacBook and play with the controller and just play Starfield streamed. Like it's, it's running. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, all you need is the Edge browser. And like, if you just download the Edge browser, like that has all the things you need built in for like Xbox Cloud streaming. But I know it works pretty well in Chrome. Like it's anything that can show a video file can, in theory, do cloud streaming. So it's not dependent on your hardware. It's dependent on the fact that there's a screen there, and it can show a video.
Like you can customize your ships. Like you can make your ships however you want to make them.
Oh man, the gummy ship PTSD in full effect.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, like you can do like droids and whatnot inside this too. This is nuts.
They're
This
robots,
is really cool.
and then like it seems like your ship is like the inside of your ship is gonna like work as your base of operations, and there'll be like morality choices as far as crew members. There'll be completely optional crew members. Like they're doing a lot of interesting things with the space concept. Like they're doing
mechanics.
Yeah, they're doing things that like
Gravity's a character. No way. Wow. All right. Like gravity is involved in the game as well. Like so you can get yourself immersed in zero G inside this game.
Yeah.
So I'm really like watching the video as we're talking about this. Like I'm just seeing like new things pop up because this 45-minute video is
right, long. And it is a deep dive. Like they get into the minutia in ways that like yeah, they have a lot of interesting stuff in that. Like, I probably need to rewatch it, and I'll probably pick up on some things that I didn't even notice my first time watching it. And because, like, the first time watching it, at one point, I just was, like, super hungry because I woke up, realized I was missing the Xbox presentation, came in here, sat at my desk, and just, like, the original plan was to stream it, but I just kind of, like, live chatted with the people, in the Discord, like who were also watching it at the same time, and then so I really need to just sit down and spend my time watching it, because I think that there is value in someone like me who was like all the way on the other side of the fence. Like I'm like, y'all can do that over there, and now I'm like kind of looking through the fence a little bit, like, do I want to, get PC Game Pass for a month, try it out on my PC, or
like definitely
wait on
definitely watch the 45-minute trailer.
Yeah,
definitely watch the 45-minute trailer. Like I watched 3-minute one. I'm watching the 45-minute trailer right now. Like I am changing my mind about this game as I'm watching this. Like the even the creature functions.
And that was their kind of hill to climb, is like so many people are down on Xbox, and so many people are down on like their ability to put out quality games, and just they had a lot to prove with this game, and I feel like what they've shown so far has for the most part proven it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you for sure. So like if you get a chance, check out the 45-minute trailer of this. I'm watching on IGN. Yeah, Starfield Direct.
You can just type Starfield Direct into Google, and you'll find a multitude of ways of watching it.
You absolutely will. It looks pretty. It really does. And like the shooting mechanics, if you don't hear about anything else, you definitely going to be hearing about like the shooting mechanics on this game, because the guns are very futuristic but familiar. The way that you can build custom landscapes on this, also the creature functionality, the space functionality, they really get immersive with this. All right. All the negative things I just said about Bethesda like a couple minutes ago, I'm gonna like take a lot of that back.
I stand by it, because like that's the thing. I can't like just them showing me a promise of like a future game being really good doesn't erase like the negative experiences I've had with their games up until now.
Gotcha. You gotta work pretty hard to change Anton Sixx's mind. I feel you. With all that being said, let's move it on to like the next topic we got here, which is the Amiibo.
All right,
got some Amiibo reveals.
Yeah, so longtime listeners of my content know that I've had these. Like, well, I've been a fan of Amiibo since day one. Like, I have my like original like first edition Smash Pikachu Amiibo sealed in box back there. Like there's a Sephiroth Amiibo right there. I have a Cloud Amiibo in my PC case. Yeah. Like there was a period of time where I got every single Amiibo that released no matter what. Like I was hardcore. Yeah. I didn't get Kazuya. So like as far as the more recent Smash ones, the ones they've released since Smash Ultimate, because I had because the original wave was for Smash 4, which was on Wii U and 3DS. And, like, I kept up with those. I was tracking the wave releases. I stood outside of a Toys R Us back when they were still around, waiting to get a
I've never
Charizard
worked
amiibo. Like, there's been, like, I've had my ups and downs with amiibo. Like, now if they release an amiibo that's appealing to me, I'll get it. Like, I have almost all of the Monster Hunter Rise amiibos. The only two that I don't have out of the, like, North American release Monster Hunter amiibos, I don't have the Sunbreak Palico and Palamute. But I have Malzinos. I have, why am I forgetting his name? The flagship of Rise.
Terry Bogard. There's a Cat Peach, Hero, Zelda, and Loftwing, Samus, Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah.
There's Min Min, Steve, and Alex. I think the latest ones that come out is Kazuya, the Link, Tears of the Kingdom, Pyra, and
Mithra.
I think it's Mithra from
Pyra
Smash
and
Bros.
Mithra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Those
technically
were
from Xenoblade, but that's the funny thing. Is just
from Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, they're part of the Smash Bros. Series, so they're different series of amiibos, and
I'm noticing that Splatoon.
Yeah. The Splatoon amiibos are really great. Like, I have a bunch of those as well.
Very detailed because they're like their cartooning character. Yeah, it looks really nice. I like the way they look.
So, just to kind of give you an example, here is the Super Smash Bros. Series Link amiibo.
Dig it.
All right.
Very classic.
But there's also the Legend of Zelda series Link amiibo, which I have a bunch of different iterations of. So I have, this is like the Ocarina of Time version. This is like the original NES pixel art Zelda Link amiibo.
If I know you guys can't see most of these, but like they definitely look like the parallels of the games for sure.
Right. It is like the Link's Awakening amiibo.
Link's Awakening, okay.
Yeah, we got Twilight Princess Wolf Link.
Good gosh, dude.
So, like I said, I'm really into amiibo. I used to be really hardcore.
Are you really into amiibo? Or really into Zelda?
Well, I have way more Smash Bros. Amiibos than I have Zelda.
Okay, all right.
So the interesting thing about these is these have little NFC chips in the bottom of these that you can scan on a Joy-Con or on a Pro controller.
I remember that though.
Certain games have like in-game benefits, and just Breath of the Wild.
I used to work with a guy who's very obsessed with getting those just for that very reason. Yeah.
Well, I don't believe anybody who says they were getting them for their in-game functionality. You got them to get high-quality Nintendo figures. Like, you can't argue with... Let me just get, like having a high-quality Wind Waker, Link, and Zelda figure in general is just something you're not going to have happen. And just the detail and the quality of these has only gone up since they've been releasing them.
Agreed. That's not a Funko Pop for sure.
Right. Like, comparing... Whereas this is the original Link. Compared to like just the amount of detail, I don't know how well you guys can see.
No, it's crisp. I can see it. It's nice.
Like,
I mean, I know they're not posable, but still, like they're pretty nice looking.
Yeah,
they got Fire. They got Fire Emblem, Metroid series. They got Super Mario Bros.
There's a Diablo amiibo that works with Diablo 3 on Switch that I have back there. He'd be too hard to get at right now, but yeah, I got the little loot goblin from Diablo as an amiibo.
Even Yoshi's World? What the?
Oh yeah, the yarn. Okay, so the NFC chips at the core of all of this. Angelina actually has I have the 3 small wool plush Yoshi amiibos, and Angelina has them in her room because she's like, these are actually cool. So,
and of course, like the piece of the resistance, they got the Batman pajamas, which is Animal Crossing. That's like the top tier.
Right, and I have quite a few Animal Crossing amiibos as well. But,
no way.
So, with these NFC chips, Nintendo, with some of the series they've continued, so Animal Crossing started off with figures, just like every other type of amiibo. But then they started releasing, they're realizing, like, people are buying them for the figure aspect more than they're buying them for the functionality aspect, and then the people that want the functionality aspect are missing out. because like there'd be villagers that you could only get if you had the amiibo, and the amiibo is extremely hard and rare to get. So Nintendo started selling packs of amiibo cards for Animal Crossing, because all it is an NFC chip that's literally small enough to fit in a piece of plastic or cardstock or whatever this size. There was a cereal box that was an amiibo. When Mario Odyssey came out, if you bought the like Mario cereal at the time, the box itself had a little amiibo symbol on it and unlock stuff in Mario Odyssey. So once that happened, there became kind of this rush of third-party sellers. Like, if you want amiibos for in-game functionality, the best thing for you to do is to get these amiibo cards. So, like I said, I have all the North American released Monster Hunter amiibos except for 2, but there was also probably 10 amiibo for Monster Hunter Riders 1 that were only released in Japan. And they're extremely expensive. Like, if you just look up Monster Hunter Rider amiibo, like, I think the minimum you're going to probably spend on one of those is like $60.
Dumb.
Right. And for a thing that probably costs $10 to $12 on initial release, 15 at the highest extreme, you're quadrupling that price just to get the figure for the functionality. And in certain games,
they range from $21 to $52. Yeah.
Wow. 21 is definitely not one of the Japan only Monster Hunter Rider amiibos. That it might be one of the ones that was released for Stories 2 over here, or it might be one of the ones that was released for Rise or Sunbreak. Those are a lot less valuable, and yeah, $20 sounds about right for those. But that does not.
Nintendo One-Eyed Rathalos and Rider is 150 bones on Amazon.
Yep.
Good God.
And that's one of those that I got. This set probably cost me $20, and that's one of the ones that I got in this set. And the interesting thing, so you saw all the Zelda amiibos that I have physically, but I don't have all the Zelda amiibos, unfortunately. And like the price on those are going up as people are playing Tears of the Kingdom and realizing, oh, if I scan these amiibos, I can get better weapons, I can get like upgrade materials, I can get stuff. So the figures are just going up and up and up. And like I want the Tears of the Kingdom Link one of him holding his arm out, but I'm not paying triple the price. Like, I'll wait until like there's a random restock at a GameStop one day, and I'll get it then.
They're not gonna get you,
right? Especially because this little tiny, like half the size of a credit card as far as like length and width, but then about the thick,
a little bit bigger than SD card. Yeah.
Right. This is 38 Legend of Zelda amiibos, so including all the ones that I have that will be like a nightmare to transport. And like so what I do when I scan them is I set the container on a chair, and then I scan them one by one and line them up across my desk, and then have to put them all back. Whereas with these, I have access to all the in-game functionality of all those figures that I do enjoy having. I'm not going to just like throw them away now that I have these, but
of course not.
And like the Guardian amiibo was displayed, it was in my background for a long time. The only thing that had me move it is Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I'm like, all right, time to get back in the routine of scanning amiibos into the game. But yeah, so
I went through a mini rabbit hole online. I see that a lot of fans are petitioning for a Sora amiibo. That is
no, it's going to happen because they've done one for every single Smash Bros. Character ever.
Yeah.
So that's how I got Cloud and Sephiroth, and I have Byleth back there somewhere. I have Bayonetta. Yeah. So like,
gosh, that's right.
I know for a fact there's going to be a Sora amiibo. I'll probably get the figure when it comes out, but I'm just really glad that certain games like Metroid Dread, there were upgrades that were exclusive unlocks to amiibo. So if you didn't buy the figures and you were playing the game, you were inherently playing an inferior version of the game.
So this is a pro amiibo segment we're doing. Like you telling people to go out to buy more amiibos to play these games.
My thing is, I understand, like, so Fire Emblem. There are a lot of Fire Emblem amiibos that have come out throughout the years. So,
crazy.
And the functionality, some of the Fire Emblem characters are some of the rarest and hardest to find amiibos. Period. Like anything in the Smash Bros. Line. Like, there were kind of the dark ages, like, of eBay scalping, and, like, the market's all over the place with amiibo figures themselves. But if you're playing a game that has amiibo functionality, what I am saying is go online, look up amiibo cards and whatever game you're playing, see what amiibo are supported, and then just buy the cards. Like, guess how much 38 Zelda amiibos cost me. Guess just ballpark number 38, completely functional. I have all the Guardians, all the champions, I have the Guardians, I have every iteration of Link, every iteration of Zelda, every iteration of Ganondorf, like the Bokoblin, like I have all that stuff. Guess how much that cost me?
I'm gonna say at least like $500, right?
No, 25.
Really?
$25 for those, not figures, but
just the cards, right?
Yeah, just the cards.
I'm saying the figures are expensive.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes you'll get them for cheap. Like, you can probably walk into a GameStop and on the clearance rack find, like, a Kirby series Kirby amiibo. But, like, because I know the Smash series Kirby is, like, getting rarer and rarer to find, and so they had to kind of, for Kirby games that had amiibo functionality, like, I'll put Diablo in my Switch case to take with me, and I'll take my little Diablo amiibo and see what that does.
I can't wait. I should be like, we got to talk about that next episode for sure. I'm interested in hearing about this. But since we're talking about, like, you know, the world of trade and cars and things like that, I noticed that Pokemon also has some cards. You sent me a request about that. Pokemon TCG, and there are 9 rarest Paladin Evolved cards. Is that what we're talking about, or is there something a little bit more elusive we're talking about when it comes to the Pokemon cards?
Oh, it's definitely not elusive. I was in Kroger, and I bought some packs of Pokemon cards, because...
It's just straight cut. Okay.
Yeah. Went into Kroger.
My kids asked me to do the same thing. Yeah, my kids wanted me to buy some Pokemon. Yeah. Still haven't done it.
Tell them when they're about to be 30, they'll be able to just walk in the store, see some packs of Pokemon cards, and just get them just because. Because I used to ask my parents all the time for Pokemon cards, like, please, Pokemon cards, like, this one has Charizard on the pack, please, like,
which is funny, because like I used to like go and like do the same thing when I was a kid. Like, I wanted like all the baseball cards, I wanted all like the Marvel and DC cards, I wanted some of the Magic the Gathering cards. I just haven't gotten around to buying them, the trading cards, because like that feeling, opening up the cellophane and looking at the cards all crisp and new, nothing beats that feeling. Nothing beats that feeling.
Right. There's a special kind of crack they put in, like, it's a little bit of like, it's something in the adhesive that they use to like seal the packs. But yeah, there's that psychology that, like, and that experience that's kind of been taken away in the gaming space, where it's a lot more things are focused on opening a loot box, or like, you know, getting a god roll on like an engram in Destiny. Like, there are a lot of digital versions of this that kind of have that same like reward system in your mind. But I like, just for me, Pokemon being such a big thing, like, let me see.
I would even put like the actual loot crates you get like monthly when you pay like $25 a month. It's in the same category of getting like those.
Well, they went out of business.
Types.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. So like they're not as sustainable as like buying something like that, like as buying like your pack like that and seeing a cool foil card in your hand. Like, wow, that looks pretty cool. Yeah.
This one right
I can
here.
use this for that game.
Like, I got some really, honestly, like, I know they're not like super valuable cards. That's why I'm touching them with my bare hands. They're not in card protectors or anything, but you know.
And it's a good feeling.
Yeah, so that I just wanted to talk about Pokemon cards in general because I've just, walked into Kroger, picked up some packs, and
Like
like
a good
as
feeling, man. I
somebody
feel
who
that.
hasn't bought Pokemon cards or like really thought too heavily about Pokemon cards in a long time, it was just nice to because there's all the card pack opening online and like the meta and Logan Paul
Mm,
trying to get a first edition Charizard and like there's
yeah.
all of that kind of side to it, and that's never really appealed to me. But
Mm-mm.
it,
This is more like a nerd version of touching some grass in my eyes. Like when I'm going out and buying a deck of cards and just opening it up and just looking inside it. Like it makes it more real, more tangible instead of like all the digital stuff or like the ludicrousness of like people doing stuff like what you're talking about with Logan Paul and whatnot. That guy's
well, I
a
mean, I
joke.
know for a period of time, like one time I walked into GameStop, and like the people behind the counter turned to me and looked at me and said, "We don't have any Pokemon cards."
Damn, damn.
I am not one of those psychos. Like I am a psycho in a lot of my own ways, but I am not one of the Pokemon card psychos.
My goodness, jeez,
Like,
what did I do to you? Who hurt you, man?
well, it just seemed like people were coming in because I would see like people are like, "Oh, this pack of cards is coming out, and if you buy the entire box, you're guaranteed at least one of these ultra rare cards,
Shit.
and that you'll be able to sell and recoup all your money." And there's like this whole economy around it, and like I don't recommend anybody get into that because that is a deep dark rabbit hole.
It is.
But
It is.
like as
Like Willy
somebody
Wonka
who
style for sure.
appreciates Pokemon as an IP, like the art on these cards, like it's just something special about Pokemon cards to me. And I know
And
there are people like that with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, baseball cards, like
Magic the Gathering, all that stuff. And
right.
also, if you are going to go somewhere and buy a full deck of cards, do not do that at GameStop. Go to Target like a sane person
Well, that
and
was
buy
the
a full deck
thing.
from there.
There was a period of time like Targets wouldn't sell them in
Yeah, they
store.
wouldn't sell it. I heard about that too. Yeah, but that don't last for so long.
Yeah, but I mean, it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth around it as
Yeah,
like kind of like one of those things I enjoyed as a kid, and then like I
the
know
hype, the hype trains are coming.
I can't fully get back into collecting Pokemon cards because like I have like a Lugia and Ho-Oh limited edition like back there that I got on eBay for like $7 for both of them. And so there are certain cards that are really cool that I like, but I'm not going to get into collecting. I'm definitely not getting into playing. So
No, you
no.
went like to a comic book shop and just play a couple of rounds.
I mean, if they had like a loaner deck, I wouldn't build a deck and like keep
Build
a
a deck.
deck
I
consistently on
gotcha.
me and like really
I gotcha.
because there are websites galore. Like in looking up some of the cards I got to be like, hey, maybe did I pull a like $100 card? Like, so in looking at this, it's like, here's
That's
a
funny.
deck, here's a strategy. Here is eBay link to each one of the cards you need to do it, and so you could do that. And it's like estimated total for this deck $20. I'm like, that's not terrible, but
Yeah,
that's just not an avenue I'm trying to go down. I
I
have
feel that too.
enough things consuming my life, and like enough capitalistic treadmills that I'm running on to.
It's
But
funny you say that. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine who went to MomoCon, and I asked him what his experience was like at MomoCon. Since like we're doing all the topics for today's show, he told me that like it was fun to go to MomoCon because he almost didn't go, but like to get his head out of like the capitalistic, monetalistic view that most of us are going through with social media and stuff like that. Like it was cool, like just to see people have fun, look at panels, and not think about like the money of all of it. And I feel like like I'm not trying like to put a hype train on shit because I know like that's how some of us can go about this sometimes. But I wouldn't mind just going to a comic book shop, spending $20 for like just like a basic deck, like a green
yeah,
deck or a red deck, and just like, hey, I give you $20 for a deck. I'm gonna play a couple of rounds. And I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna keep this deck because I paid for it. But $20 for a deck,
well,
leave
yeah. I
and like
mean,
have that be that.
there are starter decks for all. Did you see? I know. Well, I know you saw, but the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering
Yes,
collaboration.
I did. That was a lot of controversy about that, but those cards look freaking awesome, man.
Yeah,
It looks so like that looks awesome as hell.
and I
Yeah,
know they're gonna sell a starter deck, and so like, yeah, if
buy
that's
one.
something
Yeah,
that you want to do, like D,
I
you
do go do
go
it.
out to Titan or Oxford and you buy a Lord of the Rings starter deck. Maybe
I
buy a
need to.
couple booster packs from the same set, shuffle some things in, like
See how many times I can lose if I get frustrated and just go at it. I can't wait.
that has
That the
been
Marvel
that's
Snap,
been
man.
why since we're in the honesty corner of the podcast, that's why I haven't been vibing with Street Fighter 6 because like I'm a fairly competent fighting game player.
Okay,
It just feels like everybody came out like because I've been there Guilty Gear launch, I've been
okay,
there like Grand Blue Fantasy, Dragon Ball Fighters, like I've been there around a lot of these more recent like high profile fighting game launches, and
right,
I just feel like because Street Fighter is just has such a lineage and they're the
right.
people who've been playing Dalsim since before I was born, like there's just that kind of like relentless, I don't know, I'm not vibing with it. It feels like this is the best. It's a great entry point, it's a great place to learn, but I feel like I am losing so much and in
Okay.
such like
I thought you were gonna use one of those
demoralizing.
classic. Okay, demoralizing. That's the word you're gonna. I thought you were gonna use like the other word that most gamers used to use back in the day, which is like all these cheap fighters doing these
No,
cheap
like
ass moves.
no,
Okay.
that's the thing. It's just like raw skill, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's a skill
that's how
issue.
it is.
I'll totally take that on the chin. It's 100% a skill issue. I can recognize that, but I'm not like I'd like to work on my skills. It's just
The
something about
time, the money. Yeah,
something about
it's a
Street
lot.
Fighter 6 just isn't holding me.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you for a second about Street Fighter. That and Tekken, like the fact that the new school gamers, when I played online, like owned me so much, it took me out of it too, man. Like back when, what was it, 2008? That was a long time ago, but still, like that's when I started like to take the path less traveled when it came to fighting games, and then like that's when like the esports really started like the be a thing
Oh yeah,
and competition
Evo
esports. Yeah,
D. I'm gonna be sending you when because I think it's like August. I'm gonna be sending you like all these top 8 tournaments so you can see like the FGC and how good it can be. Because I
have
know
like competitions here in Georgia.
yes, I know there's Combo Breaker, there's DreamHack, there's
Heard of DreamHack.
404 Esports has had some things. I know,
Familiar with
like
them as well.
there's quite a vibrant local fighting game scene in Atlanta. So like,
I mean,
if
this is a
that's
big
something
spot,
you
and
want
so
to
is
check
Philly.
out, like
Oh
let
yeah,
me know. Because
but
Controllerized, they do Tekken and they do a lot like Smash Bros. And MomoCon even had like some Smash tournaments going. So
was it in that little room where like they had nothing but games inside of? Was it a
well, yeah, it
whole
was
different
in the
arena?
gaming room, and then there
Okay,
was the room with the arcade machines where I saw they had a stage set up for it. Like nothing was
okay,
going on the stage when I was down there playing Theater Rhythm, but yeah, it was like in the darkest. Like it wasn't a little room, but it was the darkest room in all of
right,
Omicron, and
right.
it was real like. But my attitude about a lot of that, like a lot of people ask me, would I be going and being in the gaming room, and I'm like, I'd be there to pass out my card, but like I have all the games I want to play at home. Like
I
unless
had a
there's
few last time I was there. It was an experience. I went there for like the Atlanta Comic Con too. That was a fun experience too. The place, my kids loved it
yeah,
mostly. Just
the
they got to
arcade,
run around.
that was the one thing that I can't do at home is like the having all the like straight from Japan arcade games there,
Gotcha.
like not translated, not nothing, just like here's a
That was the experience.
box, it's on free play mode, have fun, and like yeah, I was
Yeah.
that was when I was down there. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of vibing with this.
Did you stay late at WonderCon and watch any of the animes they had playing at night? Did you check out any of those? I know they had I think it was JoJo Bizarre Adventure playing last year.
Well, no, because like I have Crunchyroll and I have so anything like I the one thing I didn't do that I kind of regret not doing as far as like my time at this year's MomoCon, they had a manga library, and like when
Is that another place? They had like you can't bring your backpacks inside there, right?
yeah, I mean that probably makes sense because like
it does. But it turned me off. I didn't go inside, but like it's extensive. It's big. It's a lot of manga. A lot of manga.
So like I'd like to just like look around and see like a series I might want to check out on my own later on, like because going to the bookstore back in the day and like being at Barnes and Noble in the manga section and like picking things off the shelf. That's how I found a lot of things that I still like to this day. So
I've heard like through your older episodes, you guys talking about the manga you read, and like that's the origin story for most of you. It's going to Borders and Barnes and Noble and just picking up a couple mangas and going at it.
Right. Sometimes you get Mega Man NT Warrior Volume 2. You never had Volume 1, and you just you picked it up because it had Mega Man on the cover, and you keep that for couple decades.
Any other volume. You never get any other volume attached to it.
Don't need
it. That's that comic life right there for sure. That's comic life for sure. Right there. Oh my god, so many stories. They have like issue number 12, never find an issue 1 through 11, or issue 13 through whatever, and it's still going on. Never got any other ones. You want to, but you're not gonna. God, I miss those days. Man, that's what we all need to do. Go back to the basics.
Yeah, I mean, this has been, like, we've talked about the future of gaming a lot this season, but, like, you know, sometimes it's nice to take a step back and get back to those analog things and just kind of, like, be able to, like, just drill down and, like, get back to the core of, like, some of these things that you love and, like, you know, experience them in a way that's not, like, I'm sure the Pokemon company wants you buying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and pre-ordering the DLC and doing all of that. And they want, like, but, you know, I got the Blu-rays of the first 3 movies. Sometimes it's nice to just kick back and cry about Pikachu fighting Pikachu.
And you just being like, you know, a badass, yeah. Mewtwo.
Yeah. That's not his tail.
Jeez. Yeah, we all need to go back to touch the grass days. Like take a playbook from early 2000s, late 90s, and just, you know, read paper comics instead of digital. Play analog games like Metal Gear Solid 3. Play that. Don't wait for a reboot. Think about like the new Snake Eater that's coming out. Play the old one. Have fun with the old one. Go back, play the old Metroid. Find a GameCube somewhere. Play that, and have fun with it.
I mean,
I'm in some days.
Like, I'm all for people going back and playing older games and kind of supporting these series that kind of got us to where we are.
I'm waiting for that butt.
You, like, if there are better, more modern ways to play, like Metroid Prime, play the remastered. You don't have
to. Like, you say better, but like I feel like that's part of the problem. Like we're all gotten jaded over what is and what isn't good. Like we see like cube animations and like this is awful. This isn't good. But like it paved the way for us to have like the next generation that we have, to have the reboots that we have. And like when we put that kind of like the old stuff into like a box or a corner, it's like, you know, it's like, did it even matter? Because we got the new stuff now? And it does. Because we still watch old animes. We go back to watch the older stuff to see like where the new stuff came from.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably like the disconnect a lot of us are going through. Like we're living in now.
Let's give the example of Final Fantasy 1 through 6. Classic games. Please. Like all of these, and I'm sure playing them on original hardware is like certain people's ideal way to play it. But the Pixel remasters are available on Switch, iOS, Android, Steam, PlayStation.
It's all convenient.
So right. And so this is similar to that same experience. Like, I'm not going to tell you to go out and find a Game Boy Advance copy of Final Fantasy IV Advance.
No, I won't do that either.
Even though I've done that. I got a copy of Final Fantasy IV Advance back there.
It's an adventure. I'll say that to you. Like, if you want to do it, like, you got a whole a long adventure in your hand that's going to last you probably about a month. But I would not advise anyone going out and do that. No.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, you know, if they've updated and they've modernized these games, and there's a way for you to give them modern money for these things that you loved,
right,
nostalgically, totally do that. I'm totally like,
okay, I feel that. That feels like, you know, like a cool transaction. But if you want to go for that experience, probably do it. Like it may get you something to do. Yeah,
I have
you got
this
something to do.
collection of games behind me, and it's not just for show. Like I will go back there and open up a case, and like
pop it in.
I have a DS Lite. It's specifically for Game Boy Advance games, that is just like pop them in the GBA slot and go. And like my even old DS games, they work in the cartridge slot in my 3DS.
Treat those days like where you just like, you know what, I want to play it the way like it was intended to be played, and you just go grab like the original device, grab the original game, and just go at it.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is for me. It's that, and like, you know, the new age folks, like it's convenient. Not to knock on anybody. Like if it's convenient for you, I get it. But like for those of whom like who are like my age or even your age, like who knew like
the pre-internet world.
Yeah, that's a good decent way to put it. Yeah, the pre-internet world, I had to go to like the trenches like to grab what they needed. It was an experience, and like, you know, it left you with a lot of good stories. And I feel like the new age doesn't leave you with as many stories as you could have. Like it's all
they're different. I will say that like stories these days are a lot different because everybody has a high resolution camera in their pocket. So like there's a lot.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It just makes it
different.
Makes it easy. Yeah. Yeah, different. I guess that's better.
I definitely won't call it like a bad thing. I'll just say things are different now.
We all want to be challenged. Is that what's going on with us right now? Because I know like all of us, I've been hearing from a lot of folks that like they're going through a bit of a lull this June, and like are things just so convenient, or like the world just so crazy that we don't want to get like too involved or immersed in things, or like is it the division that we're all going through? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but like I know like something like it's in the air. Like a lot of us are really just getting a bad taste too. You know what I mean?
You know, and it's much easier to like go into Kroger to pick up some shrimp to air fry and grab some Pokemon cards. To just kind of like distract you from the fact that like not even on conspiracy shit, because it's not even a conspiracy. They're just talking about UFOs. They're just like, yeah, they've been here, they've been around.
They came, they left, they told us to go fuck ourselves.
We got
whatever.
Well, no, the thing is, like, there have been these whistleblowers that have like gotten CIA clearance, and it's like, yeah, they totally have the bodies of pilots of UFOs and like intact, like.
They shot something down, right? Yeah.
Well, it's been going deep for a really long time. I'll have to send you what I was listening to on the topic the other day. That just really kind of has had me thinking about the fact that within the next 5 years, we are going to have contact with some sort of extraterrestrial like species, and
they may not be happy with us. Just letting you all know, they may not be happy with us.
It's going to be one of those things that kind of foundationally shakes society, and like a lot of things have foundationally shaken society really lately. So
hold on to your butts.
Yeah, like we're in the future, and
I talk about this a lot. Like in 2020, like when like the height of the pandemic was going on, there was like a lot of hearings about UFO sightings or UAOs. Like there was a lot of hearings about it. A lot of hearings about that. And they talked about over 75 sightings of these like unidentified objects that happened and came to Earth. And they talked about it openly, and no one really seemed to care about it. Like the majority masses didn't give a rat's ass about it. And again, not conspiracy theories, just what it was. And
actual news stories of like, hey, UFOs
CBS,
are real.
ABC,
right.
Like,
and just
no one cared. So
but I mean, we had bigger fish to fry at the time, but like now things are semi calming down. Like the election's not till next year. Like kind of, we got that can of worms coming up, but for right now, play with Pokemon cards and check out UFOs. That those will be my parting words. Like look into the UFO things. Look into the official sources of official information that's just out there.
Not from thatguy.net. Don't look at that.
Like look at legit BBC World News. Like go to like reputable sources and just like look into like how terrifyingly much we actually know about like extraterrestrial beings,
and not just in the U.S., mind you, not just in the U.S. Because, my goodness, oh man, it blew my mind when I found out about this, and I was very like thrown back, and it really like mellowed me out a little bit when I thought about that. Then it terrified me for a second or two, but you know what? I guess that's what it's supposed to do to me. It's whatever. But I think that's all I got. I am playing Vampire Survivor right now, and I am getting more and more hooked the more I play it. I currently have to update my Marvel Snap. I gotta change some things around on my Apple payment method, whatever the hell that whole thing is. Because my wife wanted a family plan, and like now I'm annoyed because like every time like something happens on it, I gotta talk to her about like the card situation. That's a whole different conversation that I don't want to get into on a radio or on the podcast. But yeah,
we don't need that recorded.
Because last episode we talked about eye patches, and that was a great thing to talk about. But anyways. I'm playing Vampire Survivor, and it's a good game. It really is. It's a Castlevania-like, but like not a Castlevania-like at the same time.
It's what they call an ass game. Auto shooting survival game.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And it's kind of like Vampire Survivors is the first one that was a big hit, but like there have been clones of it out there. I still think Vampire Survivors is the gold standard. It's just got its new 1.5 update that I haven't even gotten to check out yet. So
the whole damn game is just beautiful, all of it. It's a fun play. They don't give you any rules about what you can and can't do. They don't tell you about what are the power ups. You just gotta figure it out as you go along. You get one chance each turn, and that's it. Like you can revive yourself, of course, but you get one go around. There's no save points, so you just gotta play all the way through and see how far you can get. I didn't realize that at first, and it was a little confusing for me. But I quickly figured out like, oh, I don't get like a chance to redo this. This isn't like old school games. Like you get one go around, then you got to go again. And most of these characters are not very good.
Well, they're upgrades. That's the thing is. Once you get any character to like I think level 10 or 15, their weapon becomes part of the loot pool that you can get as pickups with any of the other characters. So there's some things that you think aren't really good, like the pentagram. Have you fully upgraded the pentagram yet?
I got like to level 3, I think 3 or 4.
Nope. Then you haven't experienced why the pentagram's awesome, because it seems like a
right now is because I don't get any of my experience. Like the experience goes away too. Like why would I use this?
Well, there's a thing like the full upgrade of the pentagram clears all the enemies, makes them drop all of their experience, and doesn't clear any of that. So it just destroys all the monsters and everything on the stage. Like
you get like all their loot and their experience.
Yeah.
And like if you get a magnet with that, it all just comes to you.
Yeah. Well, the attract orb, yeah. You can upgrade, and then I don't know if you've gone into like the
evolve. Oh god, I just got the evolve, yeah.
And so some of those things, as far as like,
I evolved the the ability to shoot more and the knives. Because I evolved the knives to like the next level. But also got like the ability to, like, to put the glove and the knives together to make them even more powerful. And the lightning. Just evolved that as well. Got like the lightning ring, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So like it is pretty fun. It does take my mind off a lot of stuff that's going on right now because I didn't think it was going to be this fun of a game.
I told you.
You called it. You really did. I thought like you were overplaying it, but it's a gamer's game for sure. It really is.
Got that little bit of crack in it.
You just got cracked. What have you been playing besides Tears of the Kingdom? And I know you're not playing Diablo, and you say you don't have Street Fighter.
I do have Street Fighter. It's just not speaking to me.
Oh, wow! You were like, that's a very opposite reaction that you thought you were going to have prior to. You thought you were going to be all over that game.
Yeah,
and
it's just weird. Like, yeah. But I mean, we talked about it. Street Fighter is just not speaking to me, and it's kind of like demoralizing when I do play it. And
sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Like as a gamer hearing that word, like I know exactly what you mean. You don't even have to explain yourself. I know exactly what you're saying.
So
when a gamer says something is demoralizing, what they really mean is I'm bad at this game. That's what they really mean when they say that. So,
but I'm not that bad. Like I feel like I'm that bad, but I know for a fact I'm not that bad.
I get you. Just like everyone else is that good. No, I get it. Give it a month or two when everyone else is buying it for the holidays. Like you'll find your competition there. I'm sure you got like the expert level folks playing this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody else feels like a scrub out in these Street Fighter streets, hit me up. You know, it's full crossplay. So if you're on Xbox and if you're on PC, whatever. Like,
give me your tag. What's your gamer tag again?
So I'm pretty sure in the game it's Anton Sixxx with 3 X's.
Okay.
Because like it has its own like in-game Capcom ID system, and gotcha. I'm sure my name is Anton Sixxx with 3 X's. But on PlayStation, Anton the number 6 with 2 X's. Xbox Live, Anton Sixxx with 3 X's. Steam, you're just gonna have to hit me up on Discord to get my Steam because it has Japanese characters in the username. Because Steam allows that, and so like of course I'm going to like take advantage of that.
Of course you are. Why
but like, yeah, just giving you.
Is it the same kanji as your Twitter page?
Yes. Because that's just that's katakana for my name. So that's it just says Anton's, but like, yeah, that's the katakana. Gotcha. So if you want to put Anton Sixxx and then go to Google Translate, type in Anton, get the katakana, and put that after it, you'll be able to find me on Steam.
Go right ahead. If any of you listeners are that loyal, by all means, go right ahead.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Or you could just hit me up on Discord or like Twitter or any of the places, I guess. Don't DM me on Instagram. I get DM requests all the time from just like garbage, spam,
hot singles.
Right.
Would you like to be a sponsor for this company? Make sure you hit up this other page, not the page I just hit you up from. Yeah, I hate that shit.
Right. NFT bullshit, like all of that. Like so, like
thank you.
The only Instagram DMs I read are like you and my wife. So.
Well, I can't say the same thing because I got a lot of people hitting up in DMs, cosplayers, musicians, all of them, all the time. And
well, yeah. I mean, for the most part, people know to hit me up in Discord or on Twitter.
Gotcha. Is there anything else you want to say to folks before we wrap this up?
No. I mean, like, enjoy your gaming. In the words of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, enjoy your gaming.
I thought you were going to sing like his song. It's about drive. It's about power. All right.
Not going that hard.
No. Not
at
right
12:20 after, yeah.
Hey, you don't have work tomorrow. I guess there's that, man.
Yeah. There's the benefit of that.
I am Dee of F2 Nerd Talk. Find me wherever you find F2 Nerd Talk. Nothing big. I'm not doing anything big right now. Like I'm kind of like in a lull right now. So if you want to check out FTN Nerd Talk, go right ahead. Wow, I'm really selling myself today.
You should check out FTO Nerd Talk because
you should. You should absolutely. Thank you, Anton.
As a loyal subscriber, like he's been dropping content. He's been trying some new things. It's interesting to watch.
I am trying some new stuff, and like it's getting to me trying new stuff. I'll get there. I just need some time.
Hey, you're working. Life is giving you lemons, and you're making lemonade. Like those podcasts with your kids, it's always interesting to just see how off the rails it goes and how fast. But you know, you're getting them started early. If I had a chance to be on a podcast under the age of like, I think I started at like 20. Like, I would have greatly appreciated that in the long run. So
they love that. They love doing that so much, dude. They say like, Dad, like I try to do like an FTO podcast, like just like where I talk about the news and stuff, like a normal episode I usually do. And like we did like the news. Then we started doing like the things to check out, and they paused like, Dad, can we stop? Because I don't want to talk about any of this stuff. You're talking about stuff that we want to talk about, so I gotta do an FTO podcast episode with all three of them, and with stuff that they want to talk about. So all the stuff that they want to talk about, make
get them to gather their news stories, make sure they have like,
I showed my son with Metacritic. He went bonkers when he found like what a website was, because he's like a YouTube kid. So I showed him Metacritic. Had no idea what Metacritic was or a website. He's like, "What is this? It shows you all the games and movies? Are you kidding me?" That like, yeah, he went nuts. He was absolutely nuts for it. So, God, if you guys didn't know that, I love my kids to death. I spent all day with them today, and I wasn't as annoyed as I usually was with them. So that means something.
High praise.
Right? Anton, what can people find you?
They can find me around the internet, cheesycontrollerpodcast.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Anton Sixxx 3X's. If you go to cheesycontrollerpodcast.com, make sure and click that Discord button and to tap in with the community. Like, I guarantee if anybody says anything in Discord, within 12 hours, I will see it and most likely respond to it. So,
you guys just had the latest episode was it the PlayStation Showcase? Is that what it was? It was a Summer Game Fest. That was a recent episode you guys had.
So we still have the Xbox Showcase. This week's recording schedule is going to be a little bit weird, but we're gonna, we never miss a week. Haven't missed a week in like 6 years, so we're not going to start now just because there are going to be scheduling conflicts.
Sure. And I think you guys dropped 2 episodes last week. It was that one and the Will Great Games Save Xbox was the other one. So yeah, you guys have got a lot of topics out there. I think MomoCon is on the list of it also, and the PlayStation Showcase. So you guys have been dropping out bangers after bangers. So make sure you guys check out Cheesy Controller Podcast. Listen to them up, because you guys, how would you describe Cheesy Controller Podcast? How would you put that, like topic wise, like you guys go in?
Well, the elevator pitch for Cheesy Controller Podcast is for longtime friends with a shared experience in gaming coming to talk about because we know each other better than we know a lot of other people, and so we have this rapport, and we have this prior knowledge about what would be interesting to each of the different people, and we have a diverse enough cast that while we're all relatively the same age range, we've had very different experiences as far as growing up, and with Jalen and I in Atlanta, and Chris being out in Gwinnett, and Madrid being down in Savannah, and just kind of geographically somewhat spread out. And just kind
of your gaming style's different too. You guys aren't all the same type of gamers, either.
Right? Because I see a lot of the podcasts that are out there be echo chambers, and just kind of people who are into the exact same things, playing the exact same things, talking about the exact same things, but all of us on any given week are playing 4 vastly different things, and are bringing stories to the notes that from all types of sources. And so I think it's a very conversational show. It's a very just kind of sit and listen and feel like you're at the table with us. And
it is. It definitely is that, for sure. I will 100% agree with that. Yeah.
So, I mean, for lifelong gamers, coming together each week to talk about a myriad of stories and a cornucopia of events.
Should put that on a shirt. That's funny.
I wish I could find one time I wrote this really great bio for us, and I was just wow, this is banger material, but I have no idea where it might be on a YouTube channel somewhere. It might be it's somewhere.
Gotta love it. All right, guys. I'm DMF2 Nerd Talk. Until next time, you guys take it easy.
And keep it cheesy.
Hey guys, Dee here of FTL Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTL Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.